Hi, my name is Evie and I play the viola. Today I will be performing a short excerpt from the second movement of Walton's Viola Concerto. William Walton was a British composer from England. Unlike the first movement, the second movement is unusual for a concerto and it has a character of a scherzo. It is fast and energetic with quick rhythmic passages that constantly communicate with the accompaniment. There are sudden accents and changes in meters that create a feeling of excitement and unpredictability. There is a strong and rhythmic theme that is announced and constantly played throughout the piece by the viola. This musical idea is passed around between the soloist and the accompaniment, giving a feeling of a musical chase. Walton also uses harmonics in the viola part, creating an innovative and bright sound that contrasts with the rhythms. Written in the 20th century, it reflects elements of British musical culture. Although classical music is often associated with Europe, it has developed into a global art form. Walton's music helped shape modern English music after composers like Edward Elgar and Ralph Vaughan Williams. While many earlier English composers were inspired heavily by folk songs and landscapes, Walton brought a more modern and sharper style that was seen as innovative during the 20th century. The concerto was originally written for the English violist Lionel Curtis, but he surprisingly rejected the piece because the modern style of it seemed too unusual at the time. Years later, Curtis admitted his thoughts were wrong and he called it a masterly concerto. Although Walton was English, his musical style was greatly shaped by composers from around the world. As a student, he studied great French works by composers like Debussy and Ravel. He also listened to jazz and attended Russian ballet performances, causing him to be inspired by Russian composers like Prokofiev and Stravinsky. Throughout this movement, we can hear how musical ideas from different nations and cultures can join to create a work that is both distinctly English and internationally influenced. I hope you enjoy.
Titled Andante et Scherzo by French composer Louis Gahn. Written in 1901 for the Paris Conservatory competition, this piece has remained well known in the flute repertoire even today. Gahn dedicated this piece to its commissioner, the fellow French composer and prominent flutist Paul Taffanel. Written in the late Romantic era, this piece is a true reflection of the time period and its styles, along with that of France. Gahn himself studied at the Paris Conservatory and was deeply influenced by his French teachers, including Dubois, Massenet, and Franck. He wrote many pieces classified as light music, which was popular in France at the time due to its intent to appeal to a broader audience. Andante et Scherzo is divided into two sections. The first is the expressive Andante. This movement is filled with lyrical and rich melodies that span a wide range of colors and characters. It concludes with a flashy cadenza that seamlessly connects the first section to the contrasting conclusion to the piece. The scherzo is filled with fast sections that require not only technical skills, but Also, an understanding of the broad spectrum of characters that can be brought out through music. The structure of this piece is similar to that of other concourse pieces composed for the Paris Conservatory at the time. These pieces were composed by fellow French composers. During the early 1900s, Professor Paul Taffanel championed the advancement of the flute repertoire, and Gahn was chosen by Taffanel because he believed Gahn to amplify the French style of flute playing. At the time, a strong emphasis was placed on both a lovely singing tone quality in the low register in particular, along with finger dexterity. These elements are challenged and developed through Andante et Scherzo through its deep, rich opening and rapid conclusion. Hi, my name is Zoe Yang, and Serena Fong and I will be performing Antonin Dvorak's American String Quartet. Dvorak was born in 1841 and he died in 1904. While he eventually became one of the most famous romantic composers of the time, his journey to success started off slow. Having been born and raised in the Czech Republic, he faced discrimination from many European music critics, who showed a preference towards German and Austrian composers. Despite this, Dvorak quickly became a widely respected figure, partly from the help of Brahms, who used his influence to help Dvorak gain respect and spread word of his work. Dvorak's American String Quartet was written in the summer of 1883 on his trip to Spillville, Iowa. Inspired by the setting, he wrote the quartet taking inspiration from the plains of the Midwest in his trip to America. Listening to the finale, which we're playing today, you can hear a constant driving rhythm coming from the viola and the second violin, inspired by the sound of the railroad and the never-resting train on the tracks. He even put in the tune of some local bird calls into some of the movements. The Dvorak's American String Quartet truly reflects the best of American culture and all of the wonderful ways in which it makes an impression on visitors. I hope you enjoy our next piece. Thank you. Hi, my name is Zoe Yang, and I'll be playing Antonio Tommaso Vitali's Chaconne in G minor. Vitali was born in Italy in 1663 and lived until 1745. He was a Baroque composer. Italy during the Baroque period was the center of the violin world. There were famous makers, or luthiers as they're called, like Stradivarius and Guarneri, who made advancements in the violin that became the gold standard for instruments, which is still held today. The new construction of these instruments made many new virtuosic techniques possible. Composers like Vitali and Vivaldi showcase these techniques to show off the instruments and the performers. A chaconne is like an instrument, it's like a theme and variations, except instead of a melody, it uses a harmonic progression. In Vitali's chaconne, he introduces a progression with the piano and the opening statement of the violin. With each variation, he showcases the new virtuosic possibilities of the instrument with things like arpeggios and double stops and rapid string crossings that would have previously been impossible on the older style of instrument. The chaconne highlights the dramatic and virtuosic style of the time, but it also shows off the lyrical beauty of the newer instrument was capable of. I hope you enjoy the piece.
Pezzo Capriccioso was written by the Russian composer Tchaikovsky in 1887. The title means capricious piece, but the music is more emotional than playful. Throughout the piece, Tchaikovsky uses rich melodies and dramatic contrasts to create feelings of longing, passion, and reflection. This music reflects many qualities often associated with Russian Romantic music. The broad expressive melodies and deep emotional intensity give the piece a distinctive Russian character. Rather than focusing on dance rhythms or folk tunes, Tchaikovsky emphasizes emotion and storytelling, allowing listeners to connect with universal human experiences. The cello plays a special role in bringing this story to life. Its warm, human-like tone allows it to express a wide range of emotions, from sadness and nostalgia to excitement and hope. The instrument almost seems to sing, making the music feel personal and expressive. Pieces like Pezzo Capriccioso show how music can connect people around the world. Even though it was written in Russia more than a century ago, audiences from many different cultures can understand and relate to its emotions. This reminds us that music is a universal language that can bring people together regardless of where they come from.
My name is Serena Fong, and today I'll be playing Mozart's Violin Concerto No. 3, Second Movement. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was a child prodigy born in Salzburg. He composed over 800 works across all major genres. Mozart composed his Violin Concerto No. 3, Second Movement on September 12, 1775, when he was just 19 years old. Mozart's Violin Concerto No. 3 is widely considered the first of his masterful violin concertos. The second movement of Mozart's Violin Concerto No. 3 creates a calm, dreamlike, and peaceful feeling. By using muted strings in the background, the music feels soft and intimate, like a quiet whisper. It sounds like an opera song, offering a comforting and weightless warmth. With long notes, soft trills, and gentle details, the violin plays a peaceful melody. It expresses the deep feelings of a lonely character who stands completely apart from the orchestra. Mozart wrote his Violin Concerto No. 3 using the musical style of his hometown, Salzburg. He mixed local folk music like a traditional Strasbourger dance tune in the final section with the upbeat style of outdoor party music popular at local court and church events. As the story's main character, the violin solo stands out from the orchestra to express deep love and longing. Because the violin communicates through emotion rather than words, the music becomes a universal language. It connects people across different countries by making everyone feel the same peace no matter where they are from.
Mexico en la Piel was arranged for a string quartet by Aldo Bárcenas, a musician from Mexico and a friend of my cousin who is a cello performance major. The original song was composed by José Manuel Fernández Espinosa in 1990 and later became popularized by Mexican singer Luis Miguel. The song became a symbol celebrating Mexican culture, identity, and national pride. The title Mexico en la Piel means Mexico in the skin, and the music captures a deep sense of pride, love, and connection to one's homeland. Throughout the piece, you can hear both warmth and celebration. At times, it feels nostalgic and reflective, while at other moments, it is energetic and joyful. This music reflects many elements of Mexican culture. The melodies are lyrical and expressive, and the rhythms evoke the lively spirit often associated with traditional Mexican music. Even though this arrangement is performed by a classical string quartet, it still carries the character and emotion of the original song, helping tell a story about identity, family, and love for one's country. One of the things that makes this music unique is its blend of elegance and passion. The following melodies, rich harmonies, and dance-like rhythms create a sound that is distinctly Mexican while also speaking a musical language that people around the world can understand. Music has a remarkable ability to connect people across cultures and borders. Even when we do not speak the same language, we can understand feelings such as joy, longing, pride, and love through music. Pieces like Mexico en la Piel remind us that while every culture has its own unique traditions, music allows us to share those traditions with one another and find common ground. Thank you, and please enjoy Mexico en la Piel.